you know, you could sit here and be like, oh, we're changing boxing or we're bringing more eyeballs, but this is the real proof. Numbers don't lie.
Boxing was pretty much a dying sport. Jake Paul, him and his brother, man, these guys have brought boxing back to life.
That kid, Jake Paul's got something.
Got your hat. Got your hat.
The industry changed dramatically.
Jake Paul is good for the sport of boxing, but here's the thing, it isn't really boxing.
They're in it to become spectacle.
The biggest internet event in history!
I've been watching YouTube for a long time, and one of the weirdest, most unexpected things to happen is the Paul brothers taking over the sport of boxing. Now let's just remember, a few years ago, Jake Paul was doing this.
I'm Jake Paul from Bizarre Park, and you're watching Disney Channel. Oh, no.
Fast forward to 2020 and Jake Paul was the third highest paid boxer, literally number 3 in the world. Not influencer boxers, but the real boxers. Logan Paul even fought the best boxer of all time, Floyd Mayweather, and made $20 million in 18 minutes.
He's a tough, rough competitor. I was surprised by him tonight.
And it's not just the Paul brothers who are getting into the ring.
Something about celebrities fighting, like...
Yeah, it's just hella entertaining.
It's scrappy, it's dirty. It feels like watching friends fight in the playground.
People asking me when I'm going to start boxing. You know? There are a lot of lessons that creators can learn from what the Paul brothers done. Even for those creators who don't plan getting into the boxing ring. Alright, this is how Jake Paul broke the boxing industry.
Like, oh, YouTube boxing, celebrity boxing, you see what you started? And I'm like, yo, like, honestly, this whole craze that is happening right now isn't me. It was you, Joe Weller.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'd say it started with Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, Joe.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I imagine he's probably pissed off right now.
You know, I've changed the game. I invented YouTube
well, you
boxing.
did, yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
That's Joe Weller, a British YouTuber known for his vlogs, music and pranks. 2017 he uploaded video of him and his friend Theo Baker having a boxing match in a local gym.
And it's Joe Weller coming out swinging early doors. Oh, he's catching Malfoy big time.
Subconsciously inspired by Conor McGregor versus Mayweather.
Gentlemen, let's do this.
I was like, well, they're crossing over and doing it, so let's do it for a video.
Swinging a miss from both men here. Left hook from Joe Weller.
Why does this video generate millions of views?
The thing with boxing is it's literally two people putting everything on the line, right? You get knocked out, you're a meme, you know what I mean? Like, you're risking your reputation, your dignity, all that. So like, it kind of is the perfect thing to like be a big spectacle and cause the world to stop. Because if you get two titans or two big, you know, names that a lot of people know of, and they're both like, hey, we're willing to risk it all. Of course, like, it's the perfect formula to be a big spectacle.
But the more you care about people in the ring, the more interesting the match gets.
As the champion of boxing on YouTube, I am calling out for anyone that is brave enough to take me on.
As Joe Weller was calling out his next opponent, the boxing industry was already many years into a deep decline, and it's important to understand why that was. Well, let's go back in time. Television made boxing explode in 50s and 60s.
To the body, a left hook to the jaw.
And because of the TV coverage, the personalities of the boxers were able to connect with the fans in and outside of the ring. And no one was better at this than Ali.
Muhammad Ali!
The other day I'm in the newspapers. You get tired of reading about this.
I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Man, dude, man.
After Ali, it was very clear. The bigger the personality, the bigger the check. And the bigger the sport gets.
They call me Money Mayweather for a reason, you know?
It feels so good to be at the top. Mayweather picking up the pace.
This was my last fight tonight, ladies and gentlemen. My last fight.
So after Mayweather retired, in my opinion, boxing kind of took a turn. Now don't get me wrong, after Floyd there were still great boxers. But boxing stopped being relevant to the masses. There weren't that many boxers anymore that people cared about.
Terence Crawford is pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. If Terence Crawford walked down here now, do you honestly think there would be people down that street going, wow, it's Terence Crawford, wow, follow him around? No.
And to prove my point, that's not even Terence Crawford. This is.
The industry didn't exist for my generation. We didn't care about that industry. And because of that, there was opportunity. And no one knew who modern boxers were. And so there was just an absolute vacuum and an opportunity that these guys filled in that space overnight.
Enter KSI.
KSI obviously commented on my Instagram saying, let me fight the winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, live online around the world.
So after the match, there was another iconic moment in the history.
Jake Paul, Logan Paul
Any of the polls, I don't care. Bring it.
Jake Paul, Logan Paul, any of the polls, great moment. So when KSI called out the polls, they accepted pinning Logan versus KSI and Jake versus Deji, KSI's brother.
We can't ignore the fact that a lot of internet content is based in drama.
These boys need a beat down.
I could fucking destroy him.
Jake Paul, let's fight.
It's August 25th. I'm gonna knock Deji the out.
And so with that drama, it became a very natural answer for boxing to actually finally be that climax, that finally these two are going at it and now we're gonna get to see them fight.
Now for two guys looking for a new narrative, boxing was a perfect fit. People who loved them and hated them would pay the same exact price to see them fight.
I had a show the same night. I sold 6,000 tickets, you sold 20,000 tickets. I did a couple of 100,000 on a free-to-air sports channel, you did 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. So the second time around I was like, if these f***ers rematch, I'm not missing out on the money.
The rematch was brought by promotions company run by Eddie Hearn, who is an old-school boxing promoter with a long family history in the traditional boxing world. This fight was different. It wasn't amateur. 10-ounce gloves, no headgear. Somebody gonna get knocked out.
Big uppercut for Logan Paul. KSI stumbling him. Nice jab. Got caught with the right hand. Ducks out of the way of that one. KSI looking like a tough man now. Throwing haymakers.
The winner by split decision from the United Kingdom.
So after KSI beat Logan, it felt like YouTube boxing scene was getting a little too friendly. And this was kinda like the end of Logan's boxing story, but was not definitely the end for Jake. Jake's next fight was with another YouTuber from the UK named Gip. And after he knocked down Gip in the first round, Jake really started to become the savior that boxing needed.
There is a big difference between Jake Paul and Logan Paul.
He leaned into the character of the problem child and started calling out traditional celebrities and, the most importantly, traditional fighters.
Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now. My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. The biggest fight offer you've ever been offered, but you're scared to fight me, Conor. You're ducking me because you don't want to lose to a f***ing YouTuber.
Most people didn't care when Jake was just knocking out YouTubers, but the second he knocked out a professional athlete, lots of people cared. I mean, tons of pro athletes started to calling him out.
Because Jake Paul is taking his fighting seriously over the last couple of years and is really putting in the work, and it's showing.
And after that, he fought his first professional fighter in Ben Askren. Yeah, that pissed the fighting community definitely.
What do you think when you see somebody that's not a trained fighter and making more money than you?
Let's be honest, the guy sucks. He sucks. He really sucks.
He started on the outside taking on fellow YouTubers who just wanted to do what he was doing, and then he kind of graduated with the Ben Askren fight.
He's starting to go in the direction of the right opponents who can maybe help him earn that cred.
He is able to get his name in the headlines like no one I ever seen before. I mean, he's someone who knows how the internet works and knows what is going to be talked about. And in boxing, attention is currency. You need to sell these pay-per-views, and these guys know how to do that. Even if Jake wasn't fighting himself, he committed people to care about the fights.
Like
Logan fought one of the greatest boxers of all time in Floyd Mayweather. And while it was a monumental moment, people question how interesting this exhibition would be.
Logan was struggling to get Mayweather to respond. You know, he tweeted him a couple times, tagged him on IG, trying to get him to make something so they can get some headlines, and Mayweather didn't give a crap until the hat was taken.
I'm my own one night. Got your hat. Got your hat. Got your hat.
The story wasn't that engaging until that happened.
Jake were able to sell his fights like no one other.
I'm here to tell you who I'm fighting. It's a man by the name of Tryon Wadley. Tyrone Woodley, 5-time UFC champion, a knockout artist. Oh! If I beat you, you have to get I Love Jake Paul tattooed on you. But if you beat me, I get I Love Tyrone Woodley tattooed on me, and you have to post it on your Instagram feed. Deal or no deal? Are you confident or not? Deal or no deal? Deal.
Even when you look at his media workouts, he's doing acro yoga. Everything is an opportunity for a meme.
Booty, like, that's part of the reason I wanted to fight him. He's thick. Like, he's super thick. I wanted to grip them cheeks low-key when I first saw them.
Oh, see?
He was doing like a dance routine at his Tyron Woodley media workout. Like, that was planned very well.
I choose to fight sort of gets to this whole new level. Their following is like sometimes double. And that's what we want. You know, I want to bring new eyeballs to the sport and grow people's interests in boxing.
This type of storytelling is helping to save boxing because it's giving a roadmap for other boxers to follow.
Boxers today need to understand that they need to build a reason for us to watch the fight now. We want to see the reason why you want to enter that ring and why you want to hurt this person. And that's what's been the biggest transcendence that Logan and Jake have identified.
I love what Logan Paul and Jake Paul have done in terms of showing the boxing public that there's a way to make this money and to gain notoriety for yourself without being at the mercy of the promoters.
Ryan Garcia is the best example of how the boxing industry is now responding to this new trend. He is a boxer and he's also a social media influencer. And one of the problems with being a boxer is you're only relevant twice a year. But then there's gaps. But then you can use social media to fill in those gaps in between those two fights that you do a year. And so he is now seeing the best of both worlds. And what that then means over time, that actually means you then get more conversions and more people being interested and invested in you as a fighter because they're seeing you more so every day on social media.
For Jake and Logan, KSI and even Joe Weller, it's clear that win or lose, they will have a lasting impact for years to come.
I definitely feel like there's a place for it in the world. And, you know, obviously boxing purists are going to be like, oh, it's bad for boxing, blah, blah, blah. It really isn't, man.
Yeah, it's making boxing come back.
Yeah, bro, it's done so much. The amount of young people who are now into boxing.
The search interest in the word boxing across the United States, the spikes are when you fought Ben Askren, when you fought Nate Robinson, and when Logan fought Floyd Mayweather.
This is so cool to see. This is the real proof. Numbers don't lie.
The Paul brothers showed us that storytelling always wins. And they showed us that if there's an industry low on the stories, it's a rip opportunity for creators to step in.
They want to see me lose. They think this is a circus. They don't think this is good for boxing. Well, guess what? It is. I'm here to stay, and I'm going to knock out this guy and move on to the next one.